Howdy, howdy. Hope everyone's doing lovely today. We're continuing on from last time, which we stopped just after beating Roxanne the first day. Second day, we beat May, did some stuff, and we lost. Well, we got a lot of Pokemon. Arcada, Whismur, Magikarp, Makuhita. And we also lost our other grass type guy, the Shroomish. He will be missed. Once I found out I apparently was supposed to press this to mark how the battles happen. So currently, all of them have been beaten just by Combustion. Yes, even the first time we beat May. So yeah, that. Don't look at that early things too hard. Oh, don't mind. I need to. We can do that later. First off, we're gonna go to the routes around us and try to get some water types. Because I don't know about you, but I don't think I can beat someone who has level 15 Pokemon with a 19 ace. Using a team whose highest is 16 and the rest are below 10 and 11. So yeah. Let's see, Route 107. Route 107 has same things as Route 106, so we're gonna get it. Basically, we're just gonna be getting a Tentacool, and a Railmer. There we go. Unless I make them faint. I was stuck in a faint, but then I remembered the dupe clause. They do have a Pokemon who's literally pinned in place by their body, which is what Suicune and Dusk. No, that's the Dusk. Suicune and Cascoon are. Actually, if I remember rightly, don't they change over time? Hang on. I need to check that. Hang on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, look. Originally they were like this, so spiky and stuck to everything around them, right? But then nowadays when they're 3D, they're just bold. Because the whole thing with this was they weren't dynamic. Yeah, they were just stuck in place. Which, yeah, I believe Silcoon has had the same issue. Yeah, Silcoon's same issue, but I believe it might have actually happened. No, it's always been the same with them too. It's literally just been colors and eyes. This has been the difference. Interesting. Yeah, that's just kind of cool, ain't it? Yeah, it's one of the things, rare times when a 3D sprite is worse, not because of they don't move it, them not moving as much, because that's the thing. Back in the sprite eras, they're all in poses, right? Specific poses. And sometimes, yeah, like see how dynamic that pose is. It's literally about to go in for a peck, or even a kick. You could even see. It's either kick it. It's just really cool. It's dynamic as heck. But nowadays, since they're not sprites anymore, they're 3D models. They're less dynamic because they're meant to be actually standing around, not to be like a freeze frame in a battle. Which holds most of the merits and all that stuff, But in this case, they got worse because they were less dynamic. Because that's the whole thing about the Silcoons. They're static. They're stuck in one place. So their transition to 3D is actually much worse. Not because they're meant to be moving around more. They're actually, they can't stay in one spot. Oh, I got to keep trying to catch more. I am so thankful for the that clause. Though it does mean I basically have every water type Pokemon that can be caught by fishing, I think, at some point. Yeah, I guess if there was ever a game where it would be good and easy to do a water-based like mono type run, it would be Hoenn, wouldn't it? I'm just remembering like that one of the weird concerns about it is just like, wait, not concerns, complaints. Too much water. What? It's silly, but it makes sense. Oh, so this is a tough Magikarp. Ah, that'll take it that much faster, thankfully. Good job, Jesse. You deserve every... Wait, how much XP do you get from this? It's not gonna be above 40, is it? It's gonna be like 30. Actually, it's probably gonna be 20, essentially. Let's see how this goes. One more round. Please don't bit. Like, I forgot. Jesse, really? It was Tackle. I guess I was just talking about how they were it's basically stuck in spot. Not even 30. Okay, we're not gonna bother fighting the Magikarps. We're just gonna run. Do any of y'all know status effect moves? Technically you do, but the poison wouldn't work on Tentacool anyway. You know, I guess you might actually be the best one to help you out for this. Actually, thinking on it, I think it's too early for them to know water type moves, so Briny should be fine. Right, Briny can also run away. Okay, never mind. I was just about to debate quitting, and well, look what we got. Oh, that's a decent ability, actually. I say that like I can get more than one. I'm pretty sure most Pokemon in this generation only have the one. You know what? I forgot that I wasn't allowed to have anything faint. Duck. Punch him. Just punch him. What? No, you got this, Chuck. Don't make him faint. Just need to get him to yellow. One more hit ought to do it. And then we'll get you some medical attention. There we go. Perfect. I'm just glad that early on like this, you don't. It's not that hard to catch them this early on, you know? You just get away with Pokeballs. Wallet thanks you. Let's see. Female. Okay, we're gonna go with Lana from Pokemon because her hair does look like one of its line, just with a net on its head. So Lana the Tentacle. Okay. Not the best time for this. Hi, Winston. Can't win them all. Okay, And, okay, that's about 1 health each. Okay, good. Probably be worth it to go and grab some pitcha berries. I think I have some growing. Okay. Impish nature. Actually, and I also want to look, Gibel's nature is lax. Okay. That was 107. We found a tentacle. Lana. Captured. Impish. More defense, less speed, right? No, special attack. Oh. And you are lax. More defense, less speed. Not bad, I guess. Once you can get this guy up, especially since we have Swift Swim, so you know that sort of covers that just covers it. Here's the thing. Where is it? I can see the stats better here, actually. It's an attack, right? Second one is attack. Yep, attack, defense, special attack. Okay. Why do people ever give this thing any moves that are meant for... Oh yeah, you can't see it. Why do people give this thing any moves that are meant for... Like, Gyarados moves that are meant for, you know, that sort of thing. Like, yes, it can learn Hyper Beam. Yes, that looks cool. Why would you do that? It's less than half, at least in this game. Not sure if it's changed in other ones. It is also kind of sad that despite having one of the best abilities in Pokemon, which is huge power, it only has 50 at base attack. So it is pretty good. Nah, actually, no, it's not even pretty good defensively. It has 100. It just adds 50 more points to its overall. I guess you could train and boost that up, I guess. Yeah, still. Okay, so it's between... No, Tentacruel. It's good with defense, special defense. It's actually abysmal with normal defense. Speed. And we have... Impish, which is... more defense, less special attack. Hang on, I could probably just check the box. Yeah, that's not very good, sadly. Oh well. No, you're going in the box for now. But what are the Warlord stats like? Actually, I probably can't even get Warlord. Warlord probably needs like a super route or something. Mostly it's in HP. Actually, yeah, its defenses are abysmal. What the heck? I guess I also don't know the relationship between defense and HP, so... Good attack and special attack, though, but the fact is it's also spread badly, like most Pokemon in this region seem to be. Camerupt. Camerupt's a good Pokemon. Why does it have that bad of a stat spread? I guess in this region they... Oh, and there's my love, my favorite. I love Cacturne so much. Why is it so bad? It's mostly just because it's speed. If Cacturne's speed was higher, it'd be so good. But it's not. I mean, on one hand, it makes sense since it is an ambush predator. So, cactus? Yeah. Oh, that's interestingly odd. No, actually, these Pokemon are literally just the same stats, just swap special and offense. Special and physical. Interesting. So Lunatone's more psychic, Solvark's more rock. I think I can get myself a Corphish, though. Somewhere. And that doesn't suffer from this region's abysmal thing. It does do not great against special attackers, though. Alright. Ooh, that's a great attack. And I prefer Pokemon that tend to like hard focus on something specific, you know? Right. Absol. Absol is pretty good for that. Extremely good attack. I don't really get much choice here, do I? Oh well. What was your max again? Oh yeah, defense for speed. But also, it's not going to keep him, so yeah. I don't like Intimidate. They just slap it onto so many things. Like, oh, they have one stat weakened. And it's not even the stat that would make sense, too. I guess it kind of makes sense for attack, because if you're intimidating someone, they're less likely to want to throw a punch, you know? But those are still going to be less likely to want to hurt you using psychic stuff anyway, because... You see that crazy looking thing? You want to punch that thing? You want to get into that thing's head? Oh god, what's wrong with you? You know? Oh well. Yeah, okay, so... That's not... Naruto's not evolving anytime soon. Jesse isn't. And we can't... Things we need to get these guys leveled up. You know, to get them up to snuff with all the rest of everything. Not a good place for that, in the slightest. Maybe the cave would be okay, though. Granite Cave. I got a Pokemon here, didn't I? Okay, I got my Makuhita. Which means this cave is actually a good place to actually, you know, get better. Though I should actually just click on... Hang on, let me just look back here. Yeah, everything in here is pretty much fodder for a fighting type. Okay, Chuck, let's get you up to snuff. I'm gonna cut out most of the grinding on the YouTube thing. I say cut out, I'm just pausing the recorder. In all honesty, I could just use my Punk Powder Combustion. Yeah, I think this cave only has Makuhita, this entrance at least. What was I saying? I forget. Oh yeah. Punk Powder could genuinely just sweep through that entire gym with heck, most likely. Because he's got the speed and he's got the power. I don't know the rest of that cheer thing to, you know, finish it. You got speed, I got power. Something, 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 something. Power? You got speed, we got power, we kick gas at every hour. Yeah, that works. I wonder how much Guts does that by... Because depending on... Could make a lot of use out of that, depending on... I do wonder why the stat spread on this region is so... Oh... I love Zubat. I hate them, but I also love them. It's a complex relationship. Also, we're switching out the Briny, because Briny doesn't have any weaknesses against the Zubat. Except for that. Hey, I can do that too, though. How'd that miss, actually, thinking on it? We're in a cave, and that thing's ears are exceedingly sensitive. Oh, so that's sad amount of damage. Yay! Come on. It never works when you want it to, at all. Which I guess is at all, isn't it? It's funny how much people complain. Like, confusion sucks to have on your Pokemon more than anything else. But it is also the easiest thing to cure. But you don't want to do that a lot of times. That's actually why I don't like most try, you know, build up your Pokemon as much as you possibly can. Because if you do that, and over time, what happens with your... I wish this counted as a separate part of the cave. No, it's still Granite Cave. I love the air online. You know what? I'm gonna look up. Hopefully, if I look up with stats, it will say something that makes me happy because it's not actually as good as you would think. Let's see. Come on. No, it's just as good as it looks. I mean, slow is sin, and its special attack is wanting, but it's also the two best. It's one of the best defensive typings. Well, steel at least. No, it's still pretty dang good. The reason people say that it could probably end up it could straight up just. I don't have any fighting type moves. I forgot about that part. What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh, air. And it has move coverage too. Oh. It's quad weak to this. Yeah, 1/2 of the attack did that. That much XP too? That alone might make this cave worth fighting it. Look worth trying to grab stuff in. Speaking of which, get a bit of grinding. Oh yeah, my train of thought earlier with defensive item, stat boosts and such. What's the point in boosting your stats to a point? You know. Oh, this could be a tough one. I just agreed to go the other way. I can't escape. Abra used teleport. Abra fled. What the? What was I saying? Oh yeah. I don't like the stat boost moves. Because, well, yes, they're insanely good. It's also so easy to get rid of all of them. And sometimes you have to do that. Like, say that boost. Why does everything keep hitting Chuck with that? There's nothing in this fight clean. I guess no, it's full of rock types and very aggressive, very annoying macro deaths. I will swap out something that can kick your butt. Good. No. Wait, how many times does that hit? Oh. Good job, Chuck. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Like, say you have something it's like a setup type of, you know, style. You know, all the works, everything. Didn't boost, didn't do baton pass to the net. I want to use one of those at some point. Sadly for the Sableye, I'm pretty sure it's Dark type. I love that those things are based off the Hopskin Bill Goblins. What? It is Ghost type? It's both, isn't it? I don't have anything that's really effective, but let's just swap out for Kung Pao. Kung Pao can do this. It would have been cool to get it. Yeah, I can't tell if actually because I don't know. I like Pokemon that evolve purely because because it lets me feel like they're growing. You know, it's a good indicator of progression. You know. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this that thing. All those baton passes and all that stuff will be completely useless if the opponent has like a single thing that can cause you to like swap out, or if they can use accuracy lowering things. Either of those things will like destroy you. Just like get rid of all those turns using getting setups. And for what? I mean, yes, if you get that all set up properly, you're gonna have a hell of a sweeper to fight against. But to get to that point, it requires everything to go right. And I feel like anyone who's worth their salt in like a tournament will probably have some way to shut that down. Such as, again, Roar. Like Roar, like that's... Maybe not Roar either, but then there's something like... There's a couple, actually. There's a good few. I'm also remembering, I just remember the tactic I saw in, I think it was Colosseum or something? I think it's basically using something like a Ninjask and swapping the special ability from the Ninjask onto, I think it was a Slacking rather, which I don't think you can comprehend how insane that is. Like, that thing has layers to how powerful that is. Like, first off, like, Shedinja has one of the most overpowered abilities. Like, it's such an overpowered ability that the only reason it's not actually overpowered is because the Pokemon it's on is Ghost and Bug type. Which means it has a good amount of weaknesses that are quite common, like Fire. Water's the most common type that there is, so yeah. If it wasn't weak to the... Wait, Water? No. Just Fire. I got things mixed up. But still, if it wasn't weak to some of the more common, like, types people have on their team. Like Fires and stuff. You wouldn't... it would be so much more powerful. It's to the point where, like, yeah... A Pokemon that has 1 HP is made decent or even good. Literally by that. Oh yeah. It's the only reason it's good at all is its ability. But I think that game, like I think the final boss, it gave that ability to Slacking. The Pokemon who is literally the only reason that it's not overpowered is because it does nothing every other turn. Because it can get away with that. And it's still exceedingly good. Like, that's just insane. Like, not only are you taking away... You're taking away all of Slacking's weaknesses with that. And then you're giving it all the best things it could have. Now, Normal type has one weakness. If you don't have a fighting type move, you literally cannot beat that. And even then, you have to have a very strong fighting type Pokemon because its stats are higher than some legendaries. Oh, so I need to swap out. Like, if you've ever played Pokemon Fusion, Pokemon Infinite Fusions is a very fun game, and it allows you to mess around with stuff like that. One of my favorite like fusion Pokemons is combining Snorlax and Slacking. And what you get out of it is basically King Kong. a very like yeah, like the thing with the fusions, you have to work it is you actually have to fuse things in a way that their stats aren't as lowered. For certain Pokemon, because the stats are like even between the two, depending on which part is which. And literally the best one I've seen someone use a Slacking that was mixed with an Azumarill, and you can pick their abilities, by the way, from between the two. So it was a Slacking with huge power. You mean Hoenn BF? What do you mean? Hang on, let me. What? Oh, yeah, I'm looking it up. That looks. Oh, that looks insanely good, interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. Ah, yeah. I still haven't beaten main. I still need to actually beat Infinite Fusions. I keep getting lost. I hope it swaps over most of the stuff that was already in the first one. Because if so, that's gonna be amazing. Oh, that's gonna be yeah. Yeah, I always get stuck around the. They say it's post game, but to me, if the post game is part of the main game, if you're asking me, you know, it's like that's what that's this post game. The best Pokemon games have the best post games. Like look at Johto. Johto is 2 regions. What another region? They have an entirely new region as the post game, and that game's still one of the most beloved Pokemon games there is. And it's entirely because of that. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had an amazing post game as well. The best what was it? Kalos? Kalos was like X and Y. The post game was also the best and the most interesting part of that. Aside from like the whole plot of the main thing, because that actually had a pretty good plot. Yeah. I don't know enough about this version because this is the first time I'm playing Emerald. My first Hoenn game was Omega Ruby, so. Let's heal everyone up. It's kind of funny because I have been gaming for long enough to have been playing these at that time. I just didn't. I had from this generation I played Ruby Red. That was the one I played from this generation. It is interesting. It is kind of funny to note that this generation of games, the third? Yeah, third, I believe, is the one that gets remade into like ROM hacks the most. Probably because after this, I believe, was... You know, after this was when they went to DS, which is dual screens, which is harder to emulate. I don't know why I was like going in here to move things. I don't know. There's nothing in there to move. Yuck. Oh yeah, like this is this is a lot of people's first Pokemon game. Like I said, like Ruby Red was mine. I do remember actually playing, I think, Fire Red, or not Fire Red, just normal Red on. Maybe it was Yellow on the actual like old school game, but this was my first proper Pokemon game when I was old enough to actually comprehend this kind of thing, you know. It's also the simplest of all, also the most clean of it. Like they're just good games. Yeah, the old ones, the old ones, I got those. I played those ones on DS using the what's it called? Nintendo Shop or something, whatever it's called. When it got shut down. I still have those. I still have like Yellow and Crystal on my on my Nintendo DS. Oh. And speaking of, I should always remember that. Yeah, I remember playing like just a little bit of one of those first generation games, and I just couldn't. I wasn't even old enough to comprehend what was going on. But I actually was. Well, I was raised off the Pokemon anime, so I already knew Pokemon, even if I wasn't again comprehending it really. Good job, Chuck. Pokemon as a whole is just extremely ingrained in who I am as a person because of that. It's been with me my whole life, and I still love it. It has its flaws, but it... Ooh, 70 is good. It has its flaws, but it also has its upsides. I think the biggest upside is just seeing the Pokemon being able to move and live in a world, you know? Like I was just thinking of it earlier, like back at this point, they were all just sprites. Sometimes dynamic, but never really. Not really truly dynamic. Not like alive. That's something that even the games nowadays are failing to really understand, is that Pokemon is best when they feel alive. And so, again, that's why Heart Gold and Soul Silver are among the best Pokemon games ever made. Because the way they got around that, technically, was by having the Pokemon follow you. Because the Pokemon is moving around with you all the time. They're good. I like them, but also I see the flaws. They could be better. Yeah, that's Scarlet and Violet is the only Pokemon game I haven't actually played to completion. Well, okay. Only one that I haven't played to completion that I haven't meant to. Because I've been meaning... I guess I did mean to complete. Hard touching. I haven't beaten it. We lost the Switch. Or my sister took it, basically. I want to beat it, though. It seems interesting. It's interesting. It has some good ideas for Pokemon. Not great execution like some of the Pokemon are meant. I hate... The only Pokemon I hate is that one that's the pepper plant. That thing is horrible. That's the worst Pokemon. Well, that and the Dung Beetle. Dung Beetle, meh. Mostly I just don't like the Dung Beetle because of its face, you know? It does not need that kind of face. It looks like it's from a different game. Like, the concepts are good, though. It's just the execution is meh? But Legends Arceus was good. I haven't played the other Legend game, though. But yeah. I think that their main flaw is just that they don't understand what they're doing. Yeah, Legends Arceus was probably that might be the best 3D game. Like the best is everything about it is among the best of how it's done. And it has, but it also has flaws, which are hilarious enough. It just misses some things, but it's amazing. I just wish there was more to it. Oh, okay. You know, you're right. You're true. That is true. I'm not. Yeah, Sun and Moon are probably my favorite of the series, just in total, because I think that game specifically is where that and Sword and Shield. But especially in Sun and Moon, that's when the Pokemon creators decided, you know what? Since we're not allowed to actually experiment with the games anymore, let's actually put more effort into designing the Pokemon. And they did, and that's oof. Like it's not as exceptional as it was in Sword and Shield, but they did put so much. But like in Sword and Shield, every single Pokemon that is in Sword and Shield has a reason for being there. And they, like, often ties into, like, the culture of that area, which is a really cool thing. They started trying to do that with the... Like, just look at the legendaries. The legendaries of Sun and Moon are just... There's so much detail into, like, their conceptualization and inspirations. It's insane. But it also shows just how much the people are being held back as well, because... Oh, the conceptualization for these things are so in-depth and interesting. But they're not allowed to do that with the games. Like, what? Like... Yeah. Maybe a cloud has its silver lining, I guess. But yeah. Why am I running back in here? Okay. Could I beat the guy? Oh yeah, 100%. He could... Chuck is strong enough that could beat the first two, but Briny knows no flying moves. We're swapping Briny up front. I've never actually had to grind. I never really had to grind much in Pokemon, which is good. I wouldn't be grinding nearly as much if I didn't lose my two of my aces already. I hope that Brandy learns Peck or something really soon. She could probably just look that up, couldn't I? Oh yeah, I can't do that though, because I don't have any rare candies. And I'm not cheating them in or anything. I'd rather... If it's hard, it's hard. It is what it is. My favorite fan games are ones where they actually give you the mechanics for that kind of thing. Like they have level trainers and such. Let's see, what am I talking about? Briny. Briny is a... Wingo? Now we gotta go to Gen 3. Okay, wing attack at level 13. Okay, that's good. How do you evolve? 25? Jeez. Well, at least we get the move we want at level 13. Which isn't far away. You got this, Briny. I also don't use rare candies because... Okay, when I was younger, they just never felt as strong, which I only found out recently that is, like, not relatively recently, like 5-6 years ago, that is in fact the case with how EVs work. Because you actually battle, they get more stats. Which, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Just one fan game. I love so much of the fan games. They're so good, but most people don't actually know that. Probably true. I just happened to play the one fan game where that was 100% the case. Well, not the one of them, which was Pokemon Reborn. Because Pokemon Reborn, it has a level cap system as well. There's a bunch of things that make it harder, you know. But probably the biggest is that level cap system. I can't remember if Steel resists water. It does not. Fantastic. It should, in all honesty, Steel type should resist water. Actually, no. Actually, never mind. I can actually see that not resisting, considering the whole water pressure cutters. Never mind. Definitely. Reborn is my favorite. I still haven't beaten it. I want to play the whole game on stream. Not like this, because I don't want to. This is literally my first Nuzlocke, and I already don't really want to do another one. We'll see how I feel at the end, but I don't want to do that for a fan. Because with Pokemon games nowadays, the modern ones at least, or not even just modern ones, just all the Pokemon games, they have. You know what's gonna happen in a Pokemon game, right? There's gonna be the bad guy, the evil team. There's gonna be the gyms. Or at least a gym equivalent. You're gonna have to travel. There's gonna be the valves to keep you locked to certain things and areas. You know what's gonna happen. In fact, reason why Sun and Moon were so different is because they subverted a lot of that stuff. The quote-unquote evil team you see, they're just a bunch of punk kids. The evil team is actually this person who has been suspicious but still helping you a lot. It's just, like, yeah, no. You don't become the champion. You don't beat the champion to become a champion. You're the first champion of that region. And that's interesting. Like, they don't have a gym system, and they're trying to get themselves together. That's why Sun and Moon is so interesting. It's just, they do things differently. But that's not the case with a lot of fan games, because fan games, they do their own thing. They have they put a lot more effort into the story and like where they take place, which is why I love them so much. Like I think was it Pokemon Apollo? Pokemon Apollo is a great one. I think if I'm remembering it right, if I'm remembering the name rightly. Nope, there is no champion in Sun and Moon. You just fight the professor, if I remember rightly. Or how? Maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. It's been so long. But I know for a fact that they aren't the champion. I don't. Well, not for a fact, but I'm pretty certain that even if they are the rival, they're not considered the champion at that point. In fact, it might be. I think it might just be a normal battle before you meet the champion. Actually, hang on. I actually have to look this up. This is actually bothering me. Yep. Nope. It is right. It is It is Kukui. Kukui is the quote unquote champion at the time. So yeah, it is not the rival this time. It is just the professor. Which is yeah. So yeah, you're the first champion. Now the rival just straight up isn't, and it might be Ultra Moon, honestly, but yeah, that is in. But and at one of them, you are the champion, the first champion of the region. Not only that, but you also get to defend your title. Like in every other game, like you can do the Elite Four again and stuff like that. But in this one, you do it again. You're fighting someone new who's there to take your title, and that is awesome. Like I said, it's the post games that make or break a Pokemon game. Because that's when the creators are allowed to be the most free with what they're doing, you know? But yeah. I think Apollo was probably my favorite fan game. If I'm remembering the name rightly, I could not be. Purely because at the end it pulls this sort of thing where it actually brings the player and the character, the differences between them up. Like that, partly because like I can't remember exactly, but I think the rival or bad guy, one of those two, is just it's meta, but they're sort of aware of everything and like, oh my god, how like just aware of everything and they're like freaking out a bit over it. And then your character like speaks up for the first time I've seen in any Pokemon game, fan game or otherwise, is your character just speaks up on their own. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, it doesn't really matter if we're real or not or anything like that. We exist, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, sure, someone might be controlling me, they might not be. It doesn't matter. Even before that moment, they actually have a lot more characterization. Like in the dialogue that you actually see in game, you know, like you just read descriptions when you click on items, you know? Like you click on a rock and it says, or a trash can, you see, like in most Pokemon games it just says, okay, this is a trash can, you know? It's empty. Or you check in the trash can, it's empty. In Pokemon Apollo, the guy is like excited about it. He's like, heck yeah, like he's either excited or extremely offended by the existence of the trash can. One of the two. It's either way though. It's pretty funny compared to most Pokemon games. He also has the guy also has an extreme hatred of Kanto for some reason, but it's never really brought up much. It's just the guy just being like passive aggressive every now and then, which is a good way to do that kind of thing, you know. Also, I might have to run from this battle. Okay, once more. Randy, if you can't make this, we're just gonna have to swap you out. Okay, good. Oh, Briny, you are divine. Okay, my train of thought's lost. Oh well. I do love that I can actually... I can't remember when exactly, but at some point I actually just started wanting to use my... Instead of bringing the Pokéstone every time, I like the idea of just being able to heal them whenever. Yeah, the Poké Center is more what's the word? Convenient and free. But there's something to be said about just taking care of your Pokemon. I'm thinking about it, there might have been a Pokemon in Me like that, where you could actually go in and apply the medicine and all that. The Last Nurse Joy is a Pokemon game I do need to play on my channel. That's amazing. The concept of that fan game is... the focus isn't on battling at all. It's mostly on story. Almost entirely on it's a short story about... the Last Nurse Joy. Yeah, she's up in, like, the Antarctic at one of those, like, research bases. With a bunch of other people. And this is also the time when they started inventing that machine. You know, the one you see it in every Poké Center. Dun, 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 dun. And the Pokemon are healed. But because this is when they were, like, implementing them, there is not one there in the Antarctic. So... what does that mean? So that means you actually have to, like, you have to use books, you have to read, like, there was one thing where you get Pokemon who comes in, they're, like, feeling bad, they're not doing good. You actually have to look through your books, figure out what's wrong with the Pokemon, figure out how to fix it, and then do that. And that's amazing. Like, that's... taking care of your Pokemon is, like, the best part, I feel like, of a lot of Pokemon games. It's like a weird relationship between humans and Pokemon. It's like a combination of pets, colleagues, and personal gym trainer. And friend. That's actually what most people don't realize. A lot of people don't actually seem to realize that, Pokemon are sapient. Almost, not all of them, but most of them are. They're just as sapient as a human. So a lot of them are actually smarter than humans. But humans, they get to call the shots because, we apparently have a brain that works better for tactics and stuff than they do. And we're able to understand a lot of concepts. Because we are smarter than most Pokemon. But we just don't have the same kind of powers. Hey, Brainy, you learn Weak Attack. And how that means is that, like, a trainer who trains Pokemon... first, like, it's because... what's the words? Okay, here, first... have you ever wondered why it's called a gym? Or why you are called a trainer? It's a gym and a trainer. Pokemon battling is more like boxing, not dogfighting. You're taking a Pokemon, teaching them league-approved moves. Not psychic, not all psychic types. Like, it varies. Like, some are smarter, others are not. Psychic doesn't mean intelligence. I mean, just look at Slowpoke. Though, there is that theory that Slowpoke is in fact omniscient, and it's just overwhelmed. But I guess you don't have to be smart to be omniscient, do you? Never thought of that. Slowking is definitely smart, but that thing also has venom coursing through its brain, so, you know. That's one of my favorite fan theories, though, as well. Is that the Slowpoke line is, in fact, omniscient. Because it fits. It fits very much well, especially since when you see a Slowking that can, in fact, speak, they almost always know the future. Not the exact specifics of the future, but they know the general gist of what's going to happen. Which is, honestly, that's a really cool way of doing it. Where was I? Oh yeah, intelligence and stuff. Like, this is a fighting gym. Inside it, you learn to fight. Oh, true, but I think it's... oh, here's a key thing, is, like, Pokemon do things in different ways. Like, they learn different moves. Like, take Ember, for example. Some fire Pokemon don't have mouths. How the fuck do you breathe fire? You don't. They just use Ember in a different way. Pokemon dig in different ways. The Pokemon move isn't set in stone. It's a thing. It's a goal that you try to accomplish. The best example of this is Razor Leaf. Like, if you've seen the anime at all, you know how most Pokemon use Razor Leaf, right? They hurl off a bunch of leaves, and like the razor sharp, and they do damage as a ranged attack. But it doesn't have to be. Razor Leaf can also be a melee attack, as long as the Pokemon has, like, imagine a Bellsprout. A Bellsprout has leaves for arms. They can use those as to use Razor Leaf by smacking something with a sharp edge. Or Levani, who its arms are leaves and they're very sharp, and they uses them to make clothes. If a Levani uses Razor Leaf, it's gonna use those sharp claws. It's not literal, that. So yeah, like Psychic Pokemon example. They can tell the future, but there's a bunch of different ways. Like how one Pokemon can actually see the future, another one's just smart enough to predict it. You know, like that would be Alakazam versus Gothitelle. An Alakazam just can't actually see the future. It just figures out what's gonna happen. While a Gothitelle, it can see the future. Like actually see it. But that's also what a trainer's job is as well. Is helping them learn these moves. Like, yeah. Heck, old TMs, I can't remember which game it was in exactly. But TMs, you know what TMs are? TMs are just videos. Like, they're DVDs with, like, instructional videos on it. Like, that's what they are. I can't remember which game it was, but they literally, I'm pretty sure they actually gave you a TV. Like, a small TV and, like, a DVD player. That you could actually use to see what's on it. That was also, they gave you, like, that's what TMs are. They're instructional videos. They're literally just you getting someone else to train your Pokemon how to do a move. Like, you're a trainer, you're a personal gym trainer, you're actually teaching this sapient chicken how to fight. Because it wants to learn how to fight. Because, believe it or not, like, people always forget this when they say, oh, you're abusing Pokemon. No. If a Pokemon doesn't want to do the thing, they just won't do the thing. Like, gym badges. You have to get a certain amount of gym badges in order to, like, do certain things, right? Remember though, that if you don't have enough badges, a Pokemon won't listen to you in battle if they're traded. That is purely because they don't respect you. If a Pokemon doesn't respect you, they just won't listen. They respect you because you caught them, and they're like, ah, fair enough, my dude. Okay, let's fight. Let's have fun. I trust you with everything now. That's how Pokemon work. It's trust. If they don't trust and respect you, they ain't gonna listen. Or, heck, they might even just straight up leave. It doesn't happen in gameplay, because that would be so horrible that you have to deal with. But that is how it works. Pokemon can just... You don't have to release a Pokemon for it to just get up and go somewhere else. Without you. Hello, Elliot. Yeah, happens. Like, the only way a Pokemon like that would stay with you is because it still sees something in you. Or it's out of spite, or you're forcing it. Normal trainers are not forcing the Pokemon to do much. Or actually anything, really. Like what? Like, this Pokemon is tiny, hits like a truck, and you think I'm telling this thing what to do? No, I'm giving it suggestions that it follows. And it's following those suggestions because it trusts the trainer. It's their personal trainer. It's the trainer, the partner. Yeah. Like that person who's taking care of them. Making them better than they could be on their own in the wild. And that's also literally the case. Like, that's also why experience step points... You get more experience points from trainers than you do wild Pokemon. No, not... It's okay, it's like a dog. If that dog could talk, and if not only if that dog could talk... Actually, no, it's more like Jake the dog, if you've seen Adventure Time. That's a sapient creature, but... Like, the reason Pokemon... Sorry, it's a very complicated issue that I very much do enjoy talking about. So I keep mumbling over my words. It's like a weird combination of things. But like, yeah. It's more than just a dog. Like, it's like... The relationship is kind of like a dog and human. If the dog was still extremely... If the dog was about as smart as a child, at least. Oh, no. Some of them do, but that's mostly, like, the lower... Some of them do, that's the case. But most of them don't. Because here's the thing. You know the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games? Where all the Pokemon are extremely intelligent, fully capable of making houses and stuff? The Pokemon in those games are literally no different than than normal Pokemon. The only difference is humans have just left. They're not there anymore. Like, you remember that Pokopia game? Where the whole thing is like, oh, humans are gone, and now we're left to fend on our own. We still live in houses and stuff like that. We still make furniture. That's basically the same world as Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Pokemon are just as sapient and intelligent as humans. They just don't talk like humans do most of the time. But the thing is, literally any Pokemon, maybe not literally every Pokemon, but most every Pokemon can in fact learn English, or Japanese, or any other language they want to learn. It just takes practice, and a lot more than most Pokemon are ever willing to actually put into. Like, Meowth. Meowth is a Pokemon. Meowth learned to talk. That's literally it. And how it learned to talk, it didn't learn definitions, it didn't learn meanings. You know how Meowth learned to talk? Meowth learned to talk through enunciation and practice. Meowth already knew what the words meant. He just didn't know how to say them. That's the thing. A Pokemon is literally fully capable of understanding and speaking any language. It's just the words that they have difficulty with. Not like a lot of wild Pokemons too. It's just they're just happy being like wild. They don't care about highbrow stuff. They don't care about learning. They're just existing, and they're fine with that. And that's okay. That's good. It's like a simple like they don't become more intelligent around humans. They just have more opportunities to learn. It's sort of like how like a Neanderthal or a caveman is just as smart as a human is nowadays. They just don't need to learn things. So they didn't. They didn't have the stuff to learn. Like, it's literally just a case of, oh, here's the information, I don't care. Like, this Magikarp could probably learn how to sing, this Magikarp could probably learn advanced mathematics if it wanted to. But why would it? It's just a Magikarp. That's sort of what it boils down to. This Poochyena? It could learn who Henry III is, and his entire life story. Why the fuck would it want to, though? It's a Poochyena. It doesn't care about that. Wasn't it the No, I think there were studies that were basically exactly the same. It was literally just... Or not exactly the same, it was different parts of the brain. Like, they were more, I think, dexterous than us, or something like that. But it's still about the same thing. But yeah, my point is just, it doesn't matter. They don't care. Because they don't need to. Humans care because that's all we can do. We can learn. That's our whole thing, is that we're just extremely intelligent and dexterous. That's our niche. Pokemon have their niche. This one can breathe fucking fire. This is a chicken that can kick through a brick wall and breathe fire. It does not really need to learn how taxes work. Look, you could actually if that chicken had a job and had a paying job and got a house, yes, it would have to. That's like some people joke about like, oh, like this thing could pay taxes. Like, my buddy. Yes, you're right. It could pay taxes, but it doesn't have a job. Not one like that. If this Silcoon went out and got a job somewhere somehow, it would pay taxes. That's just how that works. This Combuskin, it would pay taxes if it got properly paid, but it doesn't. Trainers don't really... Pretty sure that most trainers, unless they have like a gym, they don't pay taxes because that's just how that works. All the money is just funneled into taking care of their Pokemon. Or possibly donation centers for a Poke Center. But that's theorizing at that point. Wait, I need to train up something. What should I train? You would be good for this if you evolved, but that's level 20. Oh, no, they 100% exist, because free healthcare has to be paid for somehow, you know? It's just that people are more accepting of other things in the Pokemon world, because those other things, once again, happen to include things like a chicken that can kick through a brick wall and breathe fire. You're gonna do what you can to take care of the chicken who can breathe fire and kick through a brick wall. Like, yeah, no. They also, in the Pokemon world, they've always known, like, they've literally always known just how intelligent Pokemon are. It's only when people are stupid and get into their heads that they forget that kind of thing. Like, at the bare minimum in Sinnoh, it used to be a thing where people married Pokemon, and that's probably still a thing. We just don't see it because actually, no, we do see it, don't we? In Pokemon Coliseum, there's a woman who's married to a Mightyena. Like, that's a thing. It's just a rare thing because people. And, you know, censorship probably, but yeah. Like, there's straight up just a woman who's married to a Mightyena. And if I remember rightly, in the sequel, she has a Poochyena as well as the Mightyena. Weird as all hell, but that's just how the Pokemon world works. It's not our world. They can't take it back, though, that's the thing. The Pokemon world is just like that. And you know what? Fair enough. What are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna argue against it, you know? Like, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. It doesn't hurt anything, it doesn't change anything. Like I said, Pokemon are intelligent enough that they would have to pay taxes if they got a job. In fact, I'm pretty sure some Pokemon actually do get paid. It's just that when you're like a trainer, the trainer has to take care of the Pokemon, otherwise the Pokemon... Here's the thing, when it comes to Union, again, you can probably speak up for yourself in some way, shape, or form where you can kick through walls and breathe fire. It's just how the world is. It's a simple world, but it's a simple yet complicated world, and that's fine. And yeah, like, I'm not saying that every Pokemon could be as smart as a human, by the way. I'm not. Most Pokemon, there is like an upper limit to every Pokemon. Sometimes they can shoot past that limit, but for the most part, they don't. Just like normal people, right? Every now and then you're gonna get a genius, but not everyone's a genius. And everything. I'd say most Pokemon, their intelligence, like how their brains work, natural intelligence, is probably around that level of like a high school kid. Not saying that they're not mature or anything. I'm saying that their brains don't work in a certain way. Like, a lot of, like... Also, here's a good Pokemon level, like, example, I think, as well, is... I think that the starters... Like, as you go through evolutions, you're also going to have different, like, upper levels of how intelligent you can get, right? Like, a first stage Pokemon is going to have a level that's different from a final stage one. And I think that there's a good chance that starters are like that specifically as well, to teach kids how to take care of a Pokemon. Because the first evolution... They're a friend. They're a kid. They're a little kid and a friend that you're meant to take care of. They get older. What the fuck? Why is my crown so small? Sorry, I just noticed that. Does that look right? I'm gonna say that looks right. Yeah, the Pokemon world is weird, but it is what it is. And it's a fascinating thing to think about, though. And I do think about it because, like, one of my favorite things happens to be, like, xenoanthropology and the like. Like, studying how, like, societies and other, like, existences would work. And the Pokemon world is very much full of that kind of thing. Because even the humans aren't entirely human. They're not the same as we are. Like, yeah, they're humans, but you can also blow one up with dynamite, and there's a pretty decent chance they would survive. I think if humans actually had stats in Pokemon World, it would mostly be in defense. Mostly defense, little bit of maybe physical attack, almost no special attack. And humans almost certainly have stats, by the way, because yeah, they just don't register. Because, like in this world, people forget. Oh yeah, we're animals too. There's reasons why we do things that are just instinctual. Gonna get Briny to level I'm gonna say 15, maybe. Actually no, we'll start swapping out for training now. Let's see, who here needs it most for this? Actually, we could train Bryony up quite a bit because their final this next gym leader has two. He has 2 level 15s and one level 19. Like what? That's a big gap. Especially since everything in the nearby K is upwards of level, like, at most, I think I've seen is like 12, maybe? Thankfully, though, this place has pretty good Pokemon to train against. No, not anymore. I think we're starting to reach the point where we can't. Okay, Chuck, we're gonna get you to level 14, and then we're gonna start working on someone else. Actually, we can, You're gonna evolve into a Beautifly, which I believe is Flying Bug. I'm not certain, but yeah. Mostly just because my brain is just going, is it really that close to just being just another Butterfree? And every time the answer is yes, which is, ugh. Okay, Chuck, you take this. I'll say that it is also hilarious just how much... Like, I don't know. Something to take note of, though, is that Pokemon... I can't remember. My words are actually getting scrambled. I'm talking too much. I keep trying to do stream of consciousness speaking. Doesn't always work quite right. My head moves mouth to mouth. As evidenced just then, my mouth moves slower than my head. And then I try to get all the things out as soon as they come to me. You know, I never got a question. How much of that is hair and what is head? Part of me has always looked at that, Ethan, I think? Ethan, I think his name is? And said, you know, that's probably just a head. That's probably just mostly head. I mean, hair. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, you know? And honestly, the kid having, like, thick white hair would be interesting. It would make him the most unique looking out of all the protagonists. Oh, I need to keep remembering. I need to enunciate more when I speak. Actually, no, not just enunciate. I need to open my mouth more. Because I tend to mumble a lot. I only noticed it, like, last night when I saw... I noticed it before, but I only got reminded of it last night when I saw some performers on stage. And they opened their mouths quite a bit when they were speaking. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing you need to do, isn't it? Hopefully, Chuck will be able to get to the right level. Actually, no, he certainly will. This episode is already going to be going. I think I might cut that, actually. Haven't been cutting the Emerald videos recordings yet, but I might cut it for that because this is almost entirely just trading and talking about Pokemon. Good job, Chuck. Not quite at the level up yet. Probably gonna be around 10, 12. I could look it up, but kind of funny that there's only 2 states of being within Pokemon when it comes to money. You either never have enough, which is early game, or you have more than your ever will need. Actually, it's not even early. It's like until you get post game, more or less, ain't it? Wait. I was about to say I should have swapped out, but we might be able to do this. Wait, why am I trying to poison sting the poison type? That's stupid. Yeah, I think I can do this because I'm pretty sure that won't do. Yeah, that won't do enough to actually out damage. Especially since I have healing items. But I guess unless that crits. Or that happens. Anyway, we reach a threshold. Oh! Oh no, even with a critical hit, we're mostly fine. Okay, heal once we get below 10. I wish I could capture this Zubat. I like Zubats a lot. Okay, now to heal up because you don't want to get knocked out. As if we don't get knocked out, we just get killed. Technically speaking, you know. I wish I had a thing like a Pokemon Bank, but it worked for emulators. I would love to beat it for that. Get to swap them around from various fan games. That'd be lovely. That way I could also basically immortalize them. Thank goodness. Good job. Hope we got more than a little bit. We did not get more than a little bit. But at least you didn't have to share, which... Yeah, we're not doing that again. Time versus effort. Also, you... No, better to just... Wait, we don't have anything to super effective. Okay, let's swap out for Briny. I don't know how much this will give, actually. How much? Why did he... I'm not gonna question it. Ooh. Wait, isn't that a high crit chance move? I'm gonna stay for... No? As long as this doesn't happen to have crit. Okay, yeah, we can finish. Good. wasn't enough to make it worth it, I don't think. Okay, that we're gonna make our way out now. Heal up and then come back. I like Aeron. I just wish I had a chance to use it. Never have. I also wish Naruto knew a ground type move. That would make this much faster to grind. It is insane also how much XP we're getting from Aeron. No, we're getting like over 100 from every single one. And wild at that. Okay, one more maybe? What's happening? No, I shouldn't be doing that because, again, it's the amount of time sunk into it isn't worth it. Kung Pao, use back. I think the Pokemon series is one of the big flaws with them is that they start to focus on, hey, she's evolving. I think that it's because they started to focus on quantity more than quality. Like, I think if they released a 3D game and their main focus was on the Pokemon itself themselves, like making them all animated and all that, make the Pokemon feel as alive as they ever did in any other game, then you could literally make it a remake of any other game. Just give it those animations, and it would be considered the best Pokemon game. Like, that's kind of how, like, Johto was, like, Heart's Gold, Soul Silver, which are considered one of the best because of their, like, how unique and different they are. How alive their Pokemon feels. Like, having them follow you around, that alone just gives them so much life. Okay, Jessie now has... Well, the move's not any better, but... this is a bit better. But we were also past the rock gym, so... Yeah, if Jessie was at was of this level at that time... Actually, I might not have lost my low tab. I keep thinking, oh, I should go fight the gym. Like, oh yeah, like, but then I start to realize. Then I remember, 15 levels. That's more. That's about 50% more than Jessie is right now. I don't think we could make it. Which is a shame. If we had a flying type move as well, then I could say maybe 13 might be able to do it. We got Harden, we got Absorb. That actually, yeah, Harden Absorb would actually take care of most of the issues. Or at least it'll make it so that did that thing just use Bide, or was that Focus Pump? No, I'm not gonna risk losing. I mean, I guess I don't need a whole team of a higher level Pokemon for this, do I? think we might be able to make it, actually. Let's update the stats screen as well. I need to... My Wingull has no, not my Wingull. My Silcoon has evolved once more. Oh, I'm steered to heal, that's right. Yeah, we've definitely not beaten all the gym trainers. Okay, we'll take it in there for fun. Okay, let's see where I should be able to have some berries. I do miss this pocket thing. Give that to... basically everyone who's going to be in the battles. Okay. These three are going to be our aces. Wish me luck. I wish I could run in buildings. Oh good, I'm here to fight all of you, because I need to get the experience. Makahita. Easy enough. Once more. How are you doing that low damage, even with that? I guess I have to be fair. I guess I am judging it up based on how I fought against Aeron, which are quad weakness. It's always annoying when people get cocky. Not to say that I haven't gotten cocky. Yeah. But I like to think if I get annoyingly cocky, people will call me out immediately. And there's Brawly. Ooh. Looks like he's wearing a wig. I was about to save before fighting him, but there's no real reason to save, is there? Wait, there might be someone still down here to fight. Let's go check. Yeah. Okay, let's take this. I'm gonna swap out halfway through the battle for... Not even halfway, we're just gonna go in, swap out, and then get 2 Pokemon leveling up. About, come on, and I'd say making a joke about massive pecs is probably it doesn't work as well unless it's a macho would it? No. That would be scary if you could get an attack off. Ooh, 100 each. Fantastic. And we don't even need to heal anyone up. Fantastic. Hang on. $16. I thought. I misread. It'll still be fine though, hopefully. That not good. Not a good thing to use. Okay, never mind. It is a good thing to use. I didn't realize it buffed defense as well. But you still can't punch a bird very well, can you? Oh, you fluffer! Fingers crossed, please, please, please. Yeah! You got this, Bryony, you got this. This attack is now back to normal, it should be. Near the end. And if I'm remembering rightly, that should be all we need. Good job, Rhiney. Okay, you don't have any weaknesses against this. And most of any of my other Pokemon would have a weakness here. Growl. Please tell me that's not. Oh. Wait, no, please tell me that wasn't what I think it was. Please let that have been a Focus Punch. No. And there goes our only flyer. And I forgot that this Pokemon didn't know any... Burn it. And that reduces its attack. No, you had better not. You had better not. Thank goodness. As long as it doesn't use another one of those, well, we should be finding a way. You know, we're gonna be fine, so long as it's not a crit. Yep. Now we have buffed defense, buffed off, and buffed offense. Once more, that's all we need. Still all we need. What? No, no, no. No, because we have buffs. We can't get rid of these. This might be the end of the run. This is gonna be the end of the run. Hold on. Use the thing! Gah! Jesse, you have to. I hate this. Poison, please get a poison off. But please, no. No, wait, my dude. Where's my fucking impatience? Jesse's dead. Wait, Sand Attack, you might be able to get this off. No, no. A single hit? Was that? That wasn't even a crit. Okay, we gotta focus on healing. We gotta focus on healing. Oh, I don't want it to end here. No, no. We're dead. We're dead. My first Nuzlocke. And we're dead. Well, goodbye. That was it. Not much I can say or do. Just go over why I lost. I was impatient. Literally, that was it. I was impatient to fight the boss. I thought we could do it. There's no... The best way to level up is in that fucking cave, and... They got off too many of the buffing attacks. I'm willing to bet, as well, that that's what the guy's TM is. Double check here to make sure. Bulk up, bulk up, bulk up. Yes, it's his fucking specialized move. So he took his Pokemon and he boosted him. That's his whole fucking shtick. That's it. We had a good run, I guess. Not really. We didn't. We didn't even get to the second. We didn't even beat the second gym leader. The second gym out of 8, and we couldn't do that. No, I couldn't do that. Well, there goes. There loses. Goodbye. Power the Combustion. Jesse the Beautifly. Rhyny the Wingo. Chuck the Makahita. And Naruto the Ninkata. Oh, God. Goodbye.